Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multichromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today we are going to be doing a video that I saw originally started by Annette's Makeup Corner, and I believe Beauty Bean or Body Bean also does these videos where you talk about palettes that you already own and whether or not you would repurchase them if they came out today. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me, we're getting into it right now. So I had my husband come in and pull 10 palettes at random, or what I think is 10 palettes, it could be 12, who knows. And I asked him to pull just 10 different things at random so that we could talk through them and decide whether or not I would repurchase them today. So we'll probably go smallest to largest, just physically in size, just because that's how they're stacked up on the desk. The first one to talk about is the I Heart Revolution Black Pearl palette, which looks like this. It's one of their little fake two-faced dupe type palettes, and the inside looks like this. It's a cool toned color story, obviously, and you've got this really nice silver, a gunmetal, and this really pretty lilac kind of lavender shade. I think this is a really pretty palette. When I stumbled across it at Ulta, I picked it up because I hadn't seen anything like this come out, and this came out long before this like trend of cool tones started. So if I saw this again at Ulta, I think I would still want to pick it up. Now, knowing my collection as I do now, I do have more palettes that have color stories that are similar to this, but I think the portability of this would still be very attractive to me, and the metallic like lavender shade I feel like I don't have very many of in my collection, so I think I still would purchase this, especially for the price. I mean, I think it was like $5. Colourpop In the Limelight. So this is one of their 9-pan palettes. This just came out recently, and I think if I had seen this come out, you know, and was thinking about purchasing it, I think I would have skipped over it, honestly, because I thought this was going to be more like a vibrant, like limey, neon type palette, and I think if I would have waited and watched reviews and things and it was coming out now, I think I would have realized that this wasn't going to be what I thought it was, and I would have passed over it. Another Colourpop palette. I think these are the only two Colourpop palettes we have in here, but this one is the Zodiac collection. This is by Kathleen Lights and Colourpop. This is a older, much older release, but it looks like this. And first of all, this packaging like blows me away. This like super metallic zodiac signs definitely blows me away. Plus Sagittarius is on the front where we belong, so there's that. But the inside color story definitely doesn't impress me very much. I really like this bottom row here, and when I picked up this palette I was still very much into like the mauvey berry type shades, so I tended to use like these 3 shades and then like a teeny tiny speck of that in the outer corner, and occasionally I would reach into this one. But I think now that I like different and more colorful looks, I would love to go back and try to reuse this to make something more vibrant and interesting. Looking at it with like sort of the colorful eye I look at now, I might have still bought it for the packaging, but I don't think I would have bought it for the color story. Okay, this is the Colored Raine and Power collab, which if you guys didn't watch that show on, was it Stars? I think it was on Stars. That was a really good show, but this is the Colored Raine and Power collab. It looks like this really pretty kind of burgundy purple color story. This always looks very blue on camera. I'm sure it's like a lighting setting for my camera, but it's, trust me when I say it's a very vibrant purple, and I think I would have picked this one up again. I really like the color story. I love the actual like collaboration. I love the packaging, so I definitely think I would have picked this one up again. Wish they would do like a Power 2 collection, because I'd be down for that too. Alright, next up is the Blush Tribe Hasina 2 palette. I picked this up just as Blush Tribe was getting ready to go out of business, and this is what the color story looks like. I do really like the color story, but I think knowing that it's not in business anymore, I tend not to use this palette very often. And so if I would have known that they were going out of business when I purchased this palette originally, I don't think I would have picked it up at all. So looking at it now, I think I would have been able to pass over it, even though this packaging is really cool. Oh, another Colored Raine. This is the Queen of Hearts palette. I didn't ask my husband to like stick to specific brands or like avoid duplicates or anything. I just literally gave him free reign over all of my eyeshadows and then just stood there holding my breath to make sure he didn't drop one and explode it. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. But this is the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette. I love this palette. This is like the darker sister palette to like the ABH Modern Renaissance, and I love that it has this really pretty burgundy, which I go into almost all the time, and this like taupey kind of silvery gold is really, really pretty. Crown looks really pretty. You know, this works really nicely for me for a transition shade, so I think for sure that I would have repurchased this palette. I love the metallics in it. The formula is fantastic, so I think for sure I would purchase this. Plus, like, the packaging is so cool. The actual palette itself is blah, but I keep the sleeve because the sleeve has this cool, like, pattern on it. The next one up is the KVD Matte Metal palette, which, that is what that is. So I had originally picked this one up after my friend Emily had picked it up, and she said she liked the formula. I really liked this tinsel shade right here, and I just thought this was like this really pretty colorful palette. Looking at it now, I can tell that it's not a colorful palette, that it is kind of cool tone, and it does have some colors to it, but they're all very like muted. I don't think I would have picked this up. I love the cover art of it. Like, I thought that was such a cool concept of saying like matte and metal. Like, I thought that was really cool. But I don't think I needed to purchase this entire palette for like doing this. You know what I mean? So I would have passed over that one. Ooh, Lunar Beauty Moonspell palette. So the actual cover of the palette looks like this. It's so pretty. And then the inside, hold up, looks like this, and I absolutely would repurchase this in an instant. I love this color story. I think it's so pretty. You get your purples, neutrals, and then like greens. I definitely would have repurchased this one happily. Alright, the next one is the Lorac and Pirates of the Caribbean palette. This is like an older palette too, but I love the packaging of this one, and I love that the inside is like nebula stars kind of a pattern. Like, it looks really cool. Sorry, it's like reflecting so much light here. Let me see. You can kind of see the color story like that. I think this is like really nice, like smooth, buttery eyeshadows, just like Lorac is known for doing. I hate that we have this little like thing here. I think there was like an eyeliner or something in there, but I do really like the fact that there's like a secret compartment on this palette that you can put the face palette into, which I also own. So I thought that was really cool. I think if I were presented with the opportunity to get this palette again, I would still pick it up because I love the collaboration so much. I like the Lorac formula a lot, and I think the packaging is just really interesting for this one, so I would have picked that one up too. The last one. This is actually a palette my husband bought for me way back when. This was from the original launch of the Morphe and Jacklyn Hill palette. I had talked myself out of it until December of that year, and that was just before they changed the formula. So this is what this one looks like, and I think looking at it now, I would have skipped over this entirely. Number one, this is an enormous palette. Like, physically, this is an enormous palette. Number two, it's predominantly neutrals. Like, you have these 4 little pops of color here. You can make the argument that these greenish shades are colorful, but everything else is like berry, brown, beige kind of shades. And so did I need to buy a 35 pan palette for 6 pseudo colorful shades? No, I did not. So I think I would have passed over this one entirely. The reason I keep it around, number one, I love these like pink to gold duochrome kind of shades, like absolutely my favorite kind of duochrome. And number two, because my husband bought it for me. I know that's like a really sad reason to keep something around, but I do appreciate the sentiment and the fact that he went out of his way to get something for me like that, so that's why I keep this one. But if I were buying it on my own, you know, just seeing it show up on the Ulta new arrivals page, I would have skipped over it so easily. And with that said, that is everything for this video. I'm going to try to link down Annette's Makeup Corner and Batty Beam below so you can see kind of their videos as well. Definitely let me know of the palettes in your collection. Are there palettes that you would not have purchased today if they came out today? I'm really curious about that. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'm going to catch you in my next video. Bye!